Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Thor, Marvel's Ragnarok. It's not Thor. They just put that there for people who I guess didn't know what they were buying and like to try to trick people into buying a Thor figure that's not actually Thor. I don't know, I'm just guessing. I don't know why it says Thor on there, other than it's related to Thor. It's fake Thor, it's faux Thor. I don't know. But this is a pretty cool release. It has a really unique accessory and some nice details, and there's some stuff to talk about even though it's mostly just a repaint. So let's go ahead and get this guy off the stand and take a closer look. And this guy stands to the top of his head, not counting the little nublet, about 7 1/4 inches, maybe 7 3/8. It's right around there. It's going to be pretty close to 18.5 centimeters. Now, like I said, there is some stuff to talk about for this guy, but first we have to do a question of the day, and that is, which version of Thor is your favorite? Do you like the classic look like this with the bare arms? Do you like the chainmail arms? Do you like Lord Thor with like the whole king beard and everything? What do you like? For me, it's a tough sell. I don't know, I really like the chainmail arms, but I think I'm gonna go classic right here. Right here, this is the one I like. Okay, now in order to talk about the aesthetic, I do want to talk about the packaging right here, because they pulled a McFarlane Toys right here and showed us not a figure that's been photoshopped to look better than it actually is, but artwork of the same thing. And boy, oh boy, does that look way cooler than this. Do you guys see how V-shaped his upper body is? How muscular his legs are? The overall proportioning on this guy, the size of the head compared to the rest of him, like that's overall, like there's some foreshortening, we're closer to the legs obviously, but still you can see the V-shape, you can see the size of his head, you can see the wings flaring out to the side rather than straight back. It just looks so much better in the artwork than in plastic. But this is still one of their better recent releases, I would say, the 80-year Thor, and that's what this is mostly, with a few new parts. So if you liked that one, you're probably going to like this one. Some people are probably going to be okay with the cape being windswept like this. For me, I'm not, because his hair is not windswept, and the cape is, and it's very asymmetrical. I'd rather it just hang straight down, because this limits posing at least as much as a straight down cape. Give it like a little swoosh if you want to, but having it off to one side, not my cup of tea. You guys can let me know how you feel about that. No shading on the arm, no shading anywhere really except on the cape. There is a touch, and it looks pretty good. It's not bad, it's good enough. I'll take it. There's a slight bit of texture to the cape. There's a little bit of, it's not shading, but there's a little bit of a paint application in the hair, but it's like the worst hair paint that we've seen from Hasbro. It's kind of like just stripes placed on top of the hair that doesn't really line up with the hair. So I don't get why they did that. It's especially noticeable right here. So that's not great. Silver paint job on the discs is fine. Mine's got a big scuff on it right there. You guys probably won't have to deal with that. The belt is painted pretty well. Wrists are painted pretty well. His robo hand has a nice little wash going on, or a dry brush. I would venture to say it's a wash. Looks pretty good. They didn't paint the boots. These tan wraps are supposed to be laying on top of black boots, and you can see it in there. They didn't paint the black boots, so it looks super cheap. And also, this part right here is super glossy. It looks like they painted blue on top of black plastic. That is what it looks like to me, and the blue is very, very shiny. So that's like the main body stuff, but let's go ahead and talk about the face, because this is something I'm guessing most people are interested in. If you don't get too close, it looks pretty good, but if you do get close, you can definitely see the dot matrix for the glowing eye over here. Doesn't look great. And on this side, they did the same thing with the dot matrix. It's a little less noticeable. The teeth are painted really well. Sculpt work is great, by the way, but the paint does leave a little bit to be desired. Even a quick touch with a customizer's brush would make this look wonderful. Even if you're not good at painting flesh tones, you could just repaint the robot head and the eye, and I think you'd be good. But it does look really good. It looks good enough, I would say, as is. So aesthetically speaking, it's not as good as it could be by any means. Just given the overall shape of the guy, he's nowhere near as Thor-like as he should be, but it does look pretty good. So I will give it, for Marvel Legends, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It's better than most Marvel Legends. It definitely has room for improvement though. Now as far as accessories go, we do have the alternate head with just a normal looking Thor head. Now to me, this looks like an entirely different sculpt than the 80-year Thor head. The hair and the ears and everything are the same, but or at least I think the feathery ear things are the same. But the face on mine looks different. I don't know if it's because my regular Thor was all warped or if it's actually a different sculpt, but it's a very nice sculpt. I like it a whole bunch. It suits Thor. It's well enough painted. I like that. Now for alternate hands, we only have the gripping hand and the robot hand that come on in the package, plus one non-robot hand for the robot side. They didn't include the fist hand that came with the other Thor that we already got on this mold, so we are limited quite a lot in how we can pose this guy. That's a bit of a bummer. We do get his hammer Mjolnir, which is done very nicely with the inscription on there and the paint work that fills it in, and it looks good. The handle's well enough done, I like that. And then we get the spinning hammer effect, and it looks pretty darn good. I like the way they did the bluish, like transparent blue swirly. The hammers are all painted in there, and then they have the inscriptions and stuff on them too. It does spin if you want it to. That's pretty cool. My only gripe is that you wouldn't have all the hammers be completely evenly colored. You know what I mean? Especially if it was a comic. Well, maybe it would. Maybe it would. I don't know. I seem to remember the Disney one that came out a while ago looked a lot better. I'll see if I can find an image of that and see if I'm right. But this is still a really cool accessory, and I'm happy to have it. So, accessory-wise, we're missing a hand, a fist hand. But otherwise, I think I'll take it. It looks pretty good, like a pretty good batch. I will go 8 out of 10 for accessories. That fist hand might have bumped it up. But it's a pretty good batch. You could go 9 if you wanted. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the articulation. Mine was frozen last time. It was actually glued for the hinge in the neck. This one's not, so he can actually look up a fair bit using that hinge and forcing the hair. Oop. Okay, I guess I forced the hair a little bit too much. Leaning forward. Doesn't really want to go any farther than that, so that's probably why it popped off. The chin is too close to the body. I mean, for the range. Minimal range between the hair and the chin and everything. The ball peg hinge combo is just not cutting it for this, so that's a bit of a bummer. Shoulders go out to the side, no problem. A little bit better than horizontal. That's pretty good. Decent sculpt on the outside. Don't like that they just transitioned from fairly realistic sculpt work out here, which is a better sculpt than most of their legends, to just a round ball. Like, just sculpt it. Sculpt it to look like something. Anything. Whatever, it's okay, I guess, because the outside does look very nice. So you get your full rotation, out to the side is fine, bicep swivel is fine. We'll take a minute. I didn't do this in the aesthetic section because we did look at this figure before. How much better those arms and shoulders look than most Marvel Legends is interesting. So, elbow joint works very nicely. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. That's all fine. No issue there. Are these hands reused? I thought they were, but... or this hand, I should say. Now it's looking to me like I haven't seen it before. So either way, that's a pretty nice sculpt. I like the sculpt on that hand. Alright, torso joint. How's it work? It leans back a little bit. Not a ton. I thought it was going to go farther, but then it didn't go. I think I was just flexing the peg. That's what she said. Leaning forward does work okay. Again, it's not as far as I thought it would be. And leaning to the side is okay. You get rotation up there and you get rotation at the waist. So it's fairly limited in the torso. The legs don't go very far forward, really. That's a bit limited. Going back, there's basically nothing. Going out to the side, it's definitely better than 45, so that's alright. I'll take that. Thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knee is fine. And then the ankle goes all the way back and a little bit forward, not a ton. Decent ankle rocker, though. So, yeah, it's not like the world's best figure, but it's definitely good enough. I'll give the articulation on this guy for Marvel Legends a 7 out of 10. There's nothing terrible about it that's unreasonable, and nothing really impressive. It is just going to be fine, and I think that'll be okay. So, final verdict on this guy. It's good enough. If you liked the 80-year Thor, you're going to like this. If you didn't like that at all, you won't like this, because it's mostly the same figure. The new parts are cool, but is that enough to sell it if you hated the base figure? Probably not. But they are cool. That accessory alone, I like a whole bunch. We need more stuff like this with our Marvel Legends. More unique things to make owning these figures fun. There are so many figures that are just the same exact figure with the body paint changed and a new head. At least give us accessories. I like this. And I like this overall figure. I would say I like it enough to give it 8 out of 10. I would go 9 if he had better proportions or better range in the torso, things like that. But I'm going to go 8. It's a solid release. I like it. Let me know how you guys feel about the figure in the comment section below. I will pin a comment if someone says something interesting or funny or something like that. And I will say thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate it. So if you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day, every day but Wednesday, really. And I have thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. In the meantime, keep collecting.